is it all about the first goal? If you score the first goal, it must give the players belief. It maybe scientific way out. How do you see that point of view?
There is a lot of factors when that first goal is scored as well. What you producing in the game to score that goal, how we generate momentum. What if you don't score for a period of time as well? There are going to be a lot of scenarios in that game, and we have to be really good at it.
And you just see a belief, do you, in training that they can overturn it?
Yeah. That's what I say when I talk about emotional state or the energy or the level of trust where we are today and we were just after the game, the disappointment because the manner of the result as well, the amount of chances that we missed that day and where we are today, I think is very different.
Can I just ask you about the couple of young players who on Sunday for you? To put them into such big games like Man City, like in Newcastle, it's not just about ability, is it? It must be about their temperament, their mindset, their mentality. Can you just talk a bit about them and their sort of individually and why you have no fears for them on such big occasions?
Yeah, for me, it's I think I mentioned it after the game. It's about how they compete, not just how they play. In order to do that, you have to be emotional, very stable. You have to be composed. You have to be very confident in yourself because there are going to be moments that they're going to try to expose you as well when you are at that age. They're going to test you and how you react to that or how you act in those moments. And those boys have shown that they are happy, to go through these challenges, this kind of context. And I think the bigger the game got, I think the better they became, which is not easy to do. But they have done that in the last few months.
Jordan, Sam?
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
I know you said you've got other options in that number 9 position, but Kai kind of is your only one. Now, how much do you have to protect him, really manage his games and kind of wrap him up and make sure he doesn't have any niggling injuries?
Yeah, he's played a lot of football, but his robustness, his availability is unbelievable. When you ask him, he feels better when he's playing every 3 days. Against Girona, for example, we give him a rest, and then he felt fresher. He had a very demanding game physically against City for the role that he had to do. And see how they are. At the end, the players give you a lot of information. But if you are playing well, you're scoring goals, all this helps, I think.
Is there a scenario where he could now start every game from now to the end of the season and not have the rest?
I don't know. This is a possibility, I don't know. And maybe we go through that scenario and he scores another 15, 18 goals. Can you imagine? That's a good scenario.
Just finally, I know you spoke about Myles' celebration after the game and you said that the players know what you think about it. Is it more in the general terms, because you've had experience at Anfield with Jurgen Klopp and how you not wanting to rile up a crowd and you did, is that the case that you don't want to give an away ground in a game like this more motivation to be rolled up? You have to keep emotion levels really steady.
Yeah, but that's obviously something that playing at home or away is very, very different, and we talk about those things and we have to understand each ground is different. Their attitude, what they celebrate, what they don't is very different up north as well, or here in London, and it's part of the game, part of the context of the game.
Have you spoken to Myles about it?
About personally with him?
Yeah.
No.
Sam?
Okay, just on that issue of Kai playing every game, he did this time last year. He started 22 and last 23.
You already been looking at it.
51 games.
My kids do that. Ask me a question, they already know the answer.
You mentioned the robustness.
Sorry?
You mentioned the
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just looking at his career, it's quite extraordinary how many games he has played. Where does that come from? Is that because he's doing extras often? Is it natural? What is it?
Well, I think genetically is a powerhouse. He's so well built. He's a player that anything you ask him, speed running zone 6, to be very robust, to make long distance, he's happy to do. His body absorbs everything, but then he really looks after him. When you see the professional, how he lives his life, it's immaculate. He does more than any other player there, and that's not a coincidence. And then I think he's so intelligent, so he knows what is good for him and what is not, and we know how to manage him. And we believe that when he says something, that is for the right reason, not because he wants to avoid to do something. And when something works, don't touch it.
Okay, just on the young lads again, how much do you think it's helped Ethan to have Myles and it's helped Myles to have people?
I think a lot. I mean, when you see those two just walking next to each other, talking to each other, there's a bond there, there's a chemistry that is. So I imagine that for them, especially because at the moment they're still in different dressing rooms. So Ethan cannot be in our dressing room still, which is unbelievable. He needs to get dressed somewhere else, even on match day. So to have somebody close to him, that has that trust, that confidence, that link, I think it's lucky. You are lucky. They are very lucky to have each other, I think.
Does Myles change the first team?
Now, yes, because now it's 20, yes.
Isam?
Uncut. This, of course, was the first transfer window since Edu's departure. What's the difference been like underneath Jason Ato? And how much of an impact was Edu's untimely departure having an impact and effect on the business or lack of business that happened in this window?
Well, the plan was more or less drawn, what we wanted to achieve in the window. And we have achieved certain things, and not all of the time, but this always happens in the summer as well. Last summer it was the same. So we want to do certain things. Some of them are renewals, some of them try to recruit some players, some of them with academies, some others that we didn't want to sell. And this window was the same. I think Jason and the team, both of them, they have done a really good job. But then it's the market, and it's complicated.
What are some of the certain things that you have achieved, we'd say?
Well, certain players that we wanted to keep, extend our relationship with them, develop them for sure, and as well control the expectations, which I think it's very important.
And of course, you're obviously linked with a number of strikers in this window, and there was an effort to bring someone in the last week or two. Does that not show that there was a need to bring a striker in? And how much pressure does this obviously put on the squad and yourself going ahead next coming months without this new striker before the next window?
Well, but it was very similar narrative as well at the end of last season, and it's been for a while, which I understand. But as I said, there are certain things that we can do, some other things that we cannot do. And that's it. For me, is that we are honest with each other. We try to do our best, and what is the best for the team, what is the best for the club, and push. At the end, when somebody is showing that will to win, to say, okay, now is the moment to do it, and we are willing to do it, then you cannot do it. Okay. You can be disappointed, but at least you try your best.
Okay, last couple now. First, Ed.
Just on transfers, a lot of the supporters, I think, were expecting a player to come in this window. Is there anything you can sort of say to reassure them about for the rest of the season that you have got enough in the squad to challenge on Premier League and all fronts?
Well, especially about the size of the squad, the numbers that we've been dealing with, because we've been periods where we have 13 players out there. That's super, super low. And we have somehow managed. So if we have managed those moments, I'm expecting the way the players that are not fit are looking, that we're going to be better, So as the week go by, we're going to be better. And I think we have managed to cope with that in a really good way.
And I was going to ask about Raheem Sterling as well. You mentioned that he can play through the middle potentially. How important is it that he can contribute more in the second half of the season, with the lack of forward options?
Yeah, especially obviously with the injuries of Gavi and Bukayo, we had to elevate the numbers in terms of minutes for sure. We're going to have to share them, goals, assists, and contribution, and that's responsibility that we have to share because there is not an individual player that can cope with those two players going there. So we talked about it, and we're on our way of achieving it.
Okay, Gary.
Well, in this case, you did bid for Watkins. Was the simple reason you didn't get Watkins, you didn't beat there's that valuation?
They're not going to talk about any player.
But given the player wanted to come,
I cannot talk about any player.
And given that you've now got probably 6 months, most big deals, as you know, take quite a few months to sort out, and the big players need time for you to kind of persuade them to join. You've now probably got 6 months now to get the striker for the summer. When will you have your new sporting director in place, you can then start on working on those deals? Because obviously you've been in 3 months now. When's that process going to be completed, and when will we have someone? When we do have someone in place, so maybe you don't take the calls the same way you probably did this month.
Yeah, we have the sporting director, which is Jason. He's clear, and he's been since the departure of Edu from day one, giving full responsibility all our support from that aspect, and what the club wants to do after that is not on me. It's a club decision to try to appoint the person that they believe is the best, and I will be in full support of that.
But don't you need someone in sooner than later so that you don't, like you said on Sunday, you get the phone calls and texts, so you actually, some of the load is off your shoulders?
Yeah, the decision, I think it will be done relatively quickly, whether it's Jason or somebody else, I don't know, but I think that decision will be done quite early.
Okay, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
The right foot is 9 goals together. So what is it? So he's on 7. So he's 2.